Michigan Marching Band. Band, take the field. Under the direction of Professor Jamie L. Nix, the M Fanfare.
Thursday night after Ohio sucks at football, and you are listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network. I am Chip. Hi.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
There we go. All right, finally.
Hi, Tess.
Something that can make me smile.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you as good as I am?
No way in hell.
No way in hell.
No way in hell.
What a weekend. We beat the absolute shit out of Ohio. Like,
you did.
Smacked them around like they didn't even belong there. Like they were some sort of small James Madison type school.
Oh, I didn't know that you personally were playing in that.
Yeah, I was on the coaching staff, actually. I just got back from Ann Arbor.
The we in sports, and I sometimes
28-3.
I actively try not to do it.
I really try not, because I don't play in the game, and neither do you.
I mean, no, clearly not. Look at me. But
the only position I am qualified to have in sports is owner.
No, you're not.
Someone who just sits in a booth and watches.
Well, that you're qualified for, but the billionaire part, not so much.
I got expendable income, you fucker.
Yeah, you don't know.
All
Don't
right,
count
so
people's
that
wallets.
voice that you hear is Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How's it going?
Hi, it's going great. How about you?
Also,
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Super, yeah. Also, the Washington football team won.
Yeah,
and USA played to a draw against your team there. How's that going?
Red coat?
Yeah, you made it through, eh?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Not Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole thing about soccer. We're going to talk about
it to the Ayatollah.
That's true. Kind of.
Ayatollah Shmayatollah.
Yeah. So, Charlie, how's your football going? Your fantasy stuff?
I'm 9-2 in one league and 6-6 in another.
That's not bad. You said you had
is that a thing?
You say you have Buffalo's defense.
Yeah, now Buffalo's defense on one of my things, and that's looking like a good payoff.
Yeah, well,
good right now.
My other one in that league is the Bengals defense. It's like, no.
All right, so we have a very special show. Returning to talk to us tonight is going to be Priest Da Nomad. He's going to be here a little bit later. If you're looking on the video, this is his new record, which I have my little grubby little hands on. It's a real record.
in CD form.
In CD
I knew
form.
he was gonna go there with that.
I have the digital as well.
I was like, he's coming for you with that one. I knew. I was like, he said a real record. He said
I
a real
brought it
record.
because we're going to talk to him about the cover art. So, okay. Whatever. Way to read ahead, Charlie.
If you actually had a record, it would look better on camera.
I have the record, but I'm not bringing it here because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, because you'd rather leave it around the parasites. I mean, children that you have.
Yes, that's correct. They can't get into those rooms. All right.
Pornography. That's what's in the room. Pornography.
All right. So anyway, Charlie's here to discuss a mass shooting at Club Q, but whatever else he's doing, that's fine.
You know you love it.
Yeah. Also, the Naugahyde ex-president has lunch with as many white supremacists and anti-Semites as he can pack into a room, and that was the lead anti-Semitic story this week until today.
But it's still the same cast of characters.
It's the same cast of characters, but
it seems like that show's gonna be running for a long. That's been renewed for a couple seasons.
I don't know if I
at
like
this point. At this point, I'm like,
from a comedy perspective.
every week I'm like, oh God, here we go, the fuck again.
From a comedy perspective, it's great.
No,
From the whether I'm going to survive to the next week or not.
We should.
No, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it, man. Fuck the content.
All right, so we've got soccer stuff we're going to talk about.
Soccer.
There was a January 6th conviction.
Oh,
An important one.
Yeah, the one-eyed bandit.
Yeah. Well, you can see that from the other side. All right.
Is that what Yale produces?
Well, apparently.
That and the Clintons.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
And Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
And Beer Can Brett.
Did he get in? I'm assuming he got in. He was in the military, right? So he probably got like the nice VA.
Well, he went to Yale Law, and then he was a lawyer, and then he was disbarred.
Oh, okay. Got it. That would make sense.
He's Rudy with an eye patch.
And remember, that is not a military injury.
No, that's
right,
a self-injury.
That is a self-inflicted civilian injury.
We're gonna cover that.
That can't be your leader, man.
I have some personal similar.
What was the other guy? But for this organization, you're thinking, what was the other guy black or something? How did he end up like that?
Yeah. Well, he had three eyes. All right.
The fish in the Anacostia.
This is Blinky. All right, this is going to be a wild show. As many people are saying it's going to be wild.
Oh, there you go. You're not
back on the Twitter.
He's supposed to do that.
Charlie, can you do the thing?
It's going to be wild.
There you go. Thank you. All right.
Or a modern one. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, right.
He's
so low energy.
He's always talking about Biden is on his low energy. Sleepy Joe. But this new Trump.
Too much Zoloft.
He doesn't have the same. I'll wait till one of these rallies.
That's exactly I love that. When I was watching, I was texting a bunch of friends, some of my other writing friends for the website, and I'm like, this is very low energy.
Yeah, what happened? That was the one thing he used to have.
He needs hundreds of people, and he's only got tens.
They were trying to get out of the fucking room.
This all started after that Tulsa rally where what's her name died. It all started going.
Herman Cain.
Yeah, that it all started going downhill.
Thoughts and prayers. All right. So, do you have a word?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I've got a word. Okay. All right. So sit back, grab some
hallucinogens.
It's FIFA time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Jet fuel can't move, still beams.
Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
Hanging out with us for this part is Charlie.
Snake eyes.
Sure.
I've rolled that a couple times in dice games and been really upset.
Yeah.
That's why I stick to poker.
Nothing hurts more than a snake eyes. And you're like, all right, my money's gone.
Poker. Hardly know her. All right.
Oh, God.
Charlie can't make that joke.
Poke 'em.
Yeah, there you
Yeah, I was just saying.
Much fun here.
Texas Hold'em.
Okay. Yeah.
Texas reach around, you know.
All right. So before we get to Charlie's thing,
That's where you do it. That's where you do it after you're eating brisket.
Yes.
What are you reaching around for? No, never mind.
More brisket.
The barbecue sauce, and then you grab something else down there.
All right, so before we get into the serious stuff, we do want to make a mention, since Charlie is here and future Speaker Hakeem Jeffries has been elected as the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives. We want to make a mention that while a lot of people are applauding Brooklyn's finest, who literally quoted Biggie during an impeachment.
I don't know if
anybody
anybody associated with the Brooklyn Democratic Party can be considered their finest, but okay, we'll go with
Well, Hakeem Jeffries, I guess, is. I don't know.
That's a low bar.
Low bar to clear. But he did quote Biggie while impeaching Trump, so I'll give him that. Everybody's giving him credit as the first person of color to lead a caucus in the House, which is not true.
He is the first black person.
Yes.
Black person, sure.
Yes.
Very good. However, Traffic Cone Orange Sean Boehner was the first person of any color to lead one of the caucuses.
Showing that even if you're from Central Ohio, being orange is not a barrier to success.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Can still pass, as they say. Okay, so, and also before Charlie gets into what he's doing, we want to mention that the Rippies are on December 17th.
Our fake award show.
Our fake award show for our fake radio show. And fake nominated you.
Exactly.
Voting is done. You missed your chance.
It's over with.
Yeah, unless you can talk to Mike Lindell and figure out how to cyber ninja your way into whatever the fucking...
Unless Price Waterhouse is tabulating them and they accidentally give the wrong envelope at the ceremony.
Quiet, I might be Price Waterhouse.
Oh.
I'm producing the Rippies accidentally, by the way.
There you go.
So,
Talk to the Venezuelans if you need to.
Guest passes may be available. If you want to come, you need to talk to a host on the network because they're not available to the public.
Okay.
Very limited number.
Do we really take ourselves seriously here?
Well, it's a capacity issue.
Some people are, apparently.
Yeah, the fire marshal.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that guy's kind of a dick.
I'm like, you have to talk to a host on the network.
That's true, though. If you do want a guest pass, you need to come talk to one.
God help you if you guys to be Chip.
I'm not giving out any.
Why are we even talking about it? If you're
Nobody wants to be my guest. They want to be your guest.
That's
True.
We know you have one or two friends.
Did you
One
say
of them
be
was
our
here
guest?
on the show this
Did you
week.
start singing
Or last
the
week.
Beauty and the Beast song?
He was singing, yeah. Jerry Orbach, everybody.
I caught it over here on my left ear. I was like, okay.
Yeah, back from the dead. Well, he's the white guy.
Look.
Jewish, too. Jerry Orbach. Just
okay. At first I was like, what?
No, Brian's not.
A Jew in showbiz? Get out of here.
I know.
How'd they get there?
Well, it's a long story. Light some candles, sit back, and we'll tell you. It all started when Moses had this great idea, and Pharaoh was not going for it.
And he said, I want to do a 6-picture deal with Ira Metzenbaum.
Just in case Kanye is listening, Springtime for Hitler is not an idea. It's a joke. Okay. Charlie is here not just to throw gas on various fires, but because he wants to talk about something serious. But before we get to him talking about something serious, we do want to celebrate something great, which is that the Senate passed some version of marriage equality as a hedge against Clarence trying to get divorced, I think is really where this is going.
He's never leaving that lady.
No, if one of them's going down, they're going down together.
Hell yeah.
But he'd like to think about the opportunity to get divorced, and so he's looking to undo Loving and Obergefell, and so we made some sort of weird deal where there's religious freedom protected about
Not a 6-picture deal.
bakers or no, I don't know. Hey, listen, Matt Turner's Jewish. I just hope you understand that. So
Hey, look,
you want him to keep saving you.
Hey, look.
You know who saves? It ain't Jesus. It's Matt Turner. Look, you top of the league for a reason.
He doesn't play.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
No. All right, it's not soccer time.
This is Jamaican. It's Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah. All right, Charlie. As our resident, I'm going to read this thing I wrote, which is unfortunate. Charlie's a frequent guest and occasional co-host of this show, which is true.
Thank you.
I'm the Joan Rivers of this show.
Yeah, that's right. In so many ways. But tonight he is here as a member of the alphabet community, which has been under attack so much recently from various Republican right-wing extremists and literally under attack from dangerous terrorists with lots of guns. Charlie, would you like to talk about those things?
Well, if you insist.
Well, talking to the
I
microphone.
texted you about it.
Yeah, but talking to the microphone when you do it.
Yeah. So, obviously, we're still reeling from the horrific shooting that happened in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Club Q, a longtime queer club for the queer community, the only queer business, club specifically for queer people in Colorado Springs.
And this is in Beaubert's district.
No, it is not. It's actually in Doug Lamborn's district, which is right next door.
Got it. So she didn't do it.
So her husband might have.
Okay.
But it was a fat white guy, so maybe, I don't know. This horrible incident where 5 people were killed and at least 17 to, I think I've heard between 17 and 25 people were injured. And this comes, is happening during a really tough time for the queer community right now because, you know, we are getting, you know, attacked on all ends on all sorts of things. And I have a bunch of things that I'm going to try to, you know, string into a cohesive statement and stream of thought. So, you know, a lot of these attacks that have been coming have been led by people like Tucker Carlson, Daily Wire's Matt Walsh, this organization called Gays Against Groomers, which is led by this horrible, treacherous lesbian, and Chaya Rachik of Libs of the person who runs the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. You know, and the thing all you have to know is, you know, these are people that have been saying, you know, have been amplifying this rhetoric about grooming and drag shows being places where where kids are groomed if they're taken there. What was their reaction to this? There was no any sign of sympathy for the dead. That's all you need to know about that. There was no sign of sympathy for the dead. It was defense of them saying, "Oh, well, you know, if these people weren't, if you know, they weren't sexualizing children, this stuff wouldn't happen." You know, which is the you know the
worst in a day club,
which is the classic thing of
your kids go to the club.
It's the why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Right.
You know. And it's just it's the most infuriating thing because also when you look at these people. What are they doing? You know, these people there's such projection that comes on from these people. Tucker Carlson, who there was just a thing that Michelangelo Signorelli wrote about his head producer, his head executive producer is an openly gay man named Justin Wells, who's been married for 10 years, who's encouraging all this.
Why?
Because he's a fucking right-wing nut job. Gay people can be right-wing nut jobs.
No, I understand
that's what equality is all about. But apparently, but these are people that are projecting. Everything is projecting with these people. Tucker Carlson, who's saying, you know, you need to arm yourself against people sexualizing children. This is a man who when Warren Jeffs, the leader, would you let me fucking talk? Jesus. Tucker Carlson was defending Warren Jeffs, leader of the FLD, the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints cult, who was convicted of facilitating facilitating marriages of 14-year-old girls to like 30 and 80, to between men of the ages between 30 and 80. You know, and he defended him, saying, "Oh, he's just facilitating the marriage. It's not like he's actually raping these girls, knowing that these girls are going to be rape like a bunch of girls."
Yeah,
well, remember the facilitating marriages conviction was overturned But then they got it when they found you got to watch that Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey documentary on Netflix. There's audio of what he did to those girls. It is. I was like, holy shit! There's audio of this. He's defending this. Remember, Tucker Carlson is also someone who, in his college yearbook, listed himself as a member of the Dan White Society. Who is Dan White? Dan White is the man who assassinated Harvey Milk and George Moscone. They always say Harvey Milk, but they forget he also killed the mayor of San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
And you have people, they talk about gay people being predators. Now, I could go to Trump's obvious Access Hollywood thing about him being a predator, but remember, this is also someone who bragged about the advantage of owning a beauty pageant was he was able to go into the dressing rooms of these things and look at these young women undressing.
Sounds like grooming.
You know who else? You know who's also who's still a big fundraiser in Florida Republican politics? Mark Foley is still huge. Yes.
Love
yes. Him. Mark Foley, who got caught sending who is the main reason we have to explain to people what AOL Instant Messenger is, was sending those things to the young pages. He's still a major fundraiser in Florida Republican politics. They talk about pedophiles. They had a pedophile as the third in line to the presidency for 8 years with Dennis Hastert, who admitted in court to as a wrestling coach, sexually
and paid like millions of dollars.
That was what they actually got him on. I remember coming on this show talking about that.
They still use the actual Hastert rule.
Yeah, they still call it that. They took his portrait down, but they call it the Hastert rule. Yeah. And they talk about grooming. I watched the documentary on Hulu about Jerry Falwell Jr. with the pool boy. It's a fascinating documentary.
We covered
Jerry
that
Falwell Jr. and Becky Falwell groomed this guy.
Yeah.
They groomed him. And then you also think about the rape culture that goes on at Liberty University and BYU. It is all projection. And what they do is they create false narratives. This whole thing that they do where they create false narratives. Matt Walsh says drag is a fetish act. It's not. It's a performance. That's all it is. It's no different than a lounge singer or a stand-up comic. And just like those things, drag can be family-friendly. The difference between family-friendly stand-up and family-friendly drag is that family-friendly drag is a lot more entertaining than family-friendly stand-up. Sorry.
I've seen both. It's 100%.
This whole thing, this goes into the
family-friendly comedy sucks.
It does. And then you have this whole amplification of this idea that acknowledging that that queer people exist is sexualizing children when it's not. These are people that still, when it actually comes to actual hard instances of sexualizing children from, I don't know, the Catholic Church, Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Southern Baptist Convention, they have been nowhere to be found.
Yeah, correct.
Yes. I mean, that is all. To me, that is the smoking gun. All of this, they don't care about it because a lot of them are these fucking militant Opus Dei Catholics. And then the idea that LGBT themes in books is pornography. Listen, I know what pornography looks like. That is not a single sex scene in a book is not pornography. Okay.
Also, two people kissing is not pornography.
They do it in the right way. It is.
Right. Well, no, but okay, so
and then they also talk about parental rights. Oh, it's about parental rights. What about parental rights of allowing kids to if they say I think I might have gender dysphoria. Letting them receive gender affirming care. That's a parental right thing, but they don't allow that to happen.
I think so.
They don't. They are not. It's not about parental rights. It's about the parental rights of the most batshit Christian you can find in a school district. That's what it's about.
Cruelty
that's what
is
they
the
do.
Point.
That's what I've always said. The cruelty is the point.
100%.
All of this. So what is this? I know I'm just kind of like ranting about all this stuff that pisses me off.
No, go for it.
But what does this all come to? It's why are they doing this? It's about cultural acceptance. Being queer is not viewed as a stigma anymore by a vast majority of people. It's not, and they cannot stand this. And I think it's no accident that this has ramped up since Donald Trump lost that election, because this is their last stand. This is their last grasp on this.
It's like the Tea Party reaction to Obama.
It's not shameful anymore. And the idea that I was very lucky when I was coming to terms with who I was. I was very lucky that I was in a liberal county. I was not in a church culture that was hammering and demeaning me on this. But I think about someone who is not in that situation, and you know what? It is
a lot
better.
Of people.
Yeah, and it's better for it is. It's better. It is better for them now, and they cannot stand it. this also goes back to drag. Drag is now permeating the culture. It is the biggest permeation of queer culture into the mainstream since disco.
Sure,
because disco came from disco came from queer clubs in the early 70s, and particularly the black queer clubs of the 70s.
And if it weren't for disco, we wouldn't have hip hop. So.
Well, and two of the biggest people who came out of the who were gay singers at gay clubs before they got discovered: Bette Midler, Patti LaBelle.
Right,
and that's the other thing I love about, because Patti LaBelle. There's one thing you know about. There's two things you know about her. She has an amazing voice. She loves her some Jesus, but she also loves her some gay men, because
how do you think she got her hair like that? I mean, Patti LaBelle's
and why does Amy Coney Barrett's hair look like that? Because gay men refuse to touch it. You know.
hey.
Why are they?
Spell that. Come on.
Why are they doing this? Because it's easy. Because it's easy to go after things. Again, it is easy to go after things that you don't understand, especially with things like trans people. It's a tough thing to understand. It can be a tough thing to understand. It can be for some people. I know. I mean, my mom, who's very open-minded. It took her a long time to understand that there is a difference between gender identity and sexual orientation. It's a very complicated thing that for some people to understand, and I get that. And that's why it's easy to go after them, because it's particularly because and for some people they're like, it's too complicated to discuss, so we're not going to defend them. I'm not going to be like that, because guess what?
Can I ask? Could they try apathy? That seems to work for me.
You're asking? No. I think that's the wrong. No. But just being apathetic to be like, oh. Because then you're not gonna. Then especially people in power.
You mean empathy?
You mean I would say you can't be apathetic to it.
Like.
Just saying, I get what you're trying to say.
I couldn't care less, like, what your gender or whatever. Like, I don't care what's in your pants. I don't want you to care what's in my pants.
Because they do use that. They do. The people do use that. They're saying, oh, it's okay if you do it like that, but just keep it away from the children. That's the thing that they do. They use that hook.
That's not the same thing.
But they use the guise of it. That's the thing. So it needs to be more thorough than that.
Isn't this a classic way of weaponizing power as well too? Because you can.
Absolutely.
Because at this point here, this is an easy one, and it seems that the Republicans have been doing this for a long time,
and it's inevitable that it would lead to something like this.
And to your point,
well,
of like,
if this isn't the first one,
but like when it feels like any group is assembling any form of type of like power, the other group that still has all of the power feels like they're losing something,
or that had it up top and is now losing that grasp on it.
Yes, and I mean. Right, to your point, it's completely different than it was even 20 years ago.
When I was graduating high school. Because I graduated high school in 2004 when all this stuff was going on about amending the Constitution to ban gay marriage.
Right.
And so what am I summarizing this up with to the people who who played a role in this? This is not like Jerry Falls saying the abortionists and the ACLU helped 9/11 happen. No, we didn't help 9/11 happen. We cleaned up the rubble, because that's what New Yorkers fucking do.
Right.
To the people like Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, these gays against groomers, libs of TikTok people, there's a folksy saying that I have for these people where I come from. Maybe someday you'll get horribly sick and die alone.
Cosign.
That's it.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yes, thank you.
We
much love.
Yes.
Yeah. You finally let them talk.
And to the good folks at FIFA and Qatar, one love.
Today I feel
the winner of the 2022 World Cup is Qatar. My favorite. Did you watch that Netflix documentary about FIFA? The best is when they cut. I didn't know that Bill Clinton was in the audience because he was advocating for America, and the look of bewilderment on his face is like. And Clinton sees some crazy shit. Clinton knew Jeffrey Epstein, and he's like, "This is the craziest shit I've ever seen."
Well, Sepp Blatter's interview about I had no idea.
It was not a good idea. Why did they choose this? This organization that I organize.
Yeah. All right.
Today I feel Arab. Today I feel Jamaican. No, I am then. No, so.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll come back with the rundown and various other parts of Chip Chat. You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Sweeps! Oh, Jesus Christ.
Vintage got the heat. Hit the groove with it. Woo. For the people. Yeah. Priest Da Nomad. Come on. Look, we coming from that generational struggle. My people, we had to fight. Born with the baggage, my back looking like Samsonite. Despite that, mama used to quote lines in broke times. I still had trouble seeing that canary in the coal mine, choking in the corner. It was them corners that raised us. Older dudes used to pay us. Cops that would cage us. Slim, I done seen so many that fell by the wayside. All the spirits of dead youngins piling up to my waistline. I used to dream hard. My dude played ball. After college, he going straight to the league. He gon' see y'all. You gotta believe. I thought he did till he got caught with weight down Brooklyn Manor. Now we doing biz. Damn, he ain't even need that bread. He came from some good folks. His pops used to warn us about the game, but it was the fame that got my man late. 8 years later, I'm picking dude up from the Fed gates. He like, damn, Pete, you way past grown. And we both struggling, trying to pay back loans. Had a tear in his eye. He said I was living a lie. Tell mom sorry, trying to find my way back home. You know, fried chicken and rice with the butter. She my queen, so I call her my queen mother. When everyone else leave me broken alone, she said, son, find your way back home. Find your way back home. Priest Da Nomad. Yeah, Nomad's an outsider. Day one, I called the bullshit out like the town crier. That nation's cabinet politics is the laws of greed. And niggas claiming they God, but God don't bleed. So with that, I give my reverence to the Most High, who guides my path even when my spiritual frequencies pumping lo-fi. Both eyes is blind, so the third kick in. It revealed my whole birth was a mission. Without a pot to piss in, without a piece of rope to go fishing. When life beats you, feeling like the hands of Sonny Liston. But God protects babies and fools, so maybe the rules didn't lock me out. Nah, they just made me work harder. They just made me devise a new plan to work much smarter. For the narrative to change, you gotta have a new author. And if the narrative wasn't important, they wouldn't try to rewrite it. I give everything in my power to fight it. But then I look up and years pass, we way past grown. And folks struggling, trying to pay back loans. And we trying to look fly the whole time it was a lie. Tell mom sorry, trying to find my way back home. Fried chicken and rice with the butter. She my queen, so I call her my queen mother. When everyone else leave me broken alone, she said, son, find your way back home. Find your way back home. Yeah. It's real talk what it is. It's love. Yeah. Find your way back home. My way back. Yeah. You know,
Dinner.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez, and slamming his head into the table is Charlie.
God damn it.
All right, so Tez just landed on the B&O Railroad in Monopoly, and he's refusing to buy it because he's on strike.
There you go, exactly.
Okay, what do we want? More reputable treatment at the hands of management. When do we want it? Soon.
Yeah. We're not going to discuss the impending railroad disaster. That is a very big problem.
Precision schedule railroading.
It's a very big problem. They fired a lot of people to maximize their profits, and now they're reaping the failures of it. That is for another week.
Okay,
it's another
I'm
week.
not going to talk about it.
Let it go.
Put these in a separate note for next week.
You can put it in your Tez talk.
It's better than Adina Menzel says.
You've got a chance. All right.
I do have a chance. I'm going to talk that and Jerry
That's fine.
Jones.
We're going to talk about that. But now we've come to the part of the show that's called the Rundown. This is where we're going to tell you about some stuff that's gone on in the news. There you go.
All right, back on track.
All right. Number one. This one carries the headline, EYE, did not see that coming.
I read this and I got
Yep. A federal jury on Tuesday convicted Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes and a top deputy of seditious conspiracy for leading a months-long plot.
Look at this guy.
Well, let me rewind that. Months-long plot to unleash political violence to prevent the inauguration of President Biden, culminating in the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Oh, look at your friend Thomas. Look what he has on his head.
It was...
True Dixie.
Yeah, no. He's from Northern Virginia.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's
no.
Berryville.
Oh.
He's 3 counties over. Clark County. All right, so... These fine individuals that you just saw on the screen.
Very fine individuals.
Yeah, there's very fine people on both sides.
Obviously.
Of the Capitol. There's the House and the Senate side. No. Okay. They stormed the Capitol and tried to kill everybody, including Mike Pence.
Yeah.
And they were unfortunately unsuccessful. No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah. Look.
Well, you know,
I'm not
we have a very. It's these people
Mike
are
Pence
just
forgave
misunderstood.
him.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
That's a guy.
That's a great Mike
they're
Pence.
just
That is a great Mike
misunderstood.
Pence.
Get a fly in his hair. So, they attacked the Capitol and they tried to unmake democracy, and then they thought that they were just going to walk away.
They didn't
with
want
it.
democracy to be carried to term.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, but now they're facing like 60,000 years in jail because they all did it, and they were convicted by a jury of their peers, which they would contend is not their peers because it was a jury in the place that they committed the crime, which is the District of Columbia. It's not their white peers. And they're very
They
upset
were
about
really
this.
hoping for Northwest DC in that jury.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's getting there.
not Northwest. It would have to be like, I don't know. Even Kara Schwartz is not hard.
That's a name.
I want to read this quote here. Rhodes and followers dressed in combat-style gear converged on the Capitol after staging a, quote, arsenal of weapons at nearby hotels, ready to take arms up against at Rhodes' direction in an attack on the, quote, bedrock of democracy.
I think those hotels were right up the street from me in Pentagon City.
I was going to say, was it Pentagon or Crystal City over around over here?
Yeah. Interestingly, nowhere near the fucking water. And their whole plan about they were in Boston was one of them, and another one was in Crystal City, and they were like, well, yeah, we're gonna row them across the river. Again, I want
to just jump the metro turnstile.
I want to very strongly pound on this idea that these idiots had not actually checked about how difficult it is to traverse the Potomac by means of
Yellow
boat.
line, easier.
It's not good.
Get off at LaFont.
Especially from the Capitol.
Which is nowhere near the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's many,
It hasn't
many
been
miles.
for many years.
It will be.
well, it's going to come back, yes.
God willing, the tidal basin will.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
Anyway, okay, so what are we talking about here? These guys were convicted of trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah, I think
This hasn't happened since the mid '90s, and that was a Islamic terrorist cell.
Or McVeigh.
McVeigh is another, yeah.
Well, he was put to death, but for multiple murders,
Yeah, he blew
300 and some odd.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
But the whole idea when he comes they're influenced by whatever those militias were out of
Yeah, it was that anti-government white supremacist militia bullshit.
Clive and
McVeigh
Bundy
is all
type
part
shit.
of
Yeah, all that.
They're none of them lone wolves.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all a network.
This, first of all, I mean, hopefully this sets the tone for other motherfuckers who are about to get tried, right? Because at this point, if he's the leader of this, and he obviously was in contact with
Directly in
individuals.
contact
When you're in
with
contact
Trump.
with
They
Roger
treated
Stone,
it like a military operation,
Yeah.
so they were using the walkie-talkies and everything
and
to communicate.
He left, from what I heard of this, he left. Or he was like, I went to eat a sandwich or some shit with one of his friends, and then when the violence started, he then went back to the Capitol and started organizing shit. And also, wasn't he? His whole bet on this was, well, we were betting on Trump to invoke the
Insurrection
Act, yeah.
and then all this shit is legal
or martial law or
martial.
something.
And then, all right, what are we talking
So
about?
they were waiting for the president to basically give them a signal that this was going to be okay, and that they would, or barring that they would be pardoned.
Yeah.
Okay, but the reality
He was too mad that they were something to go to put out a statement.
Right.
He couldn't even do that. He couldn't invoke anything because he's upset.
he was like, "What do you mean you want me to tell them to go home? These are my people. Drive me to the Capitol, goddammit."
What is
And now the Secret Service has cars blowing up because they're all compromised.
Yeah.
This is the problem, okay? The basic law enforcement security apparatus of this country, of which all of these Oath Keepers were once a member, is compromised by these white supremacists, Christo-fascist, white ethno-nationalists who want to create a country that never has existed.
I just want to know what does the economy look like in that country they want to create?
There are no Taco Tuesdays.
What is it?
They're very sad.
What that economy is going to look insane. You can only trade with one place.
It's based on cream of wheat and bottled water.
Cream of wheat. So is it just going to incorporate all the other foods with racist mascots as well?
Yeah, that's right. They'll bring back
Uncle
the
Ben's and Aunt
they'll
Jemima
bring
as
back
well,
the
yeah.
ones they
but
said.
not the flavored rice.
Yeah,
Not
just
just the
rest
plain.
steam. Plain steam.
But not that basmati shit either.
No,
Whoa,
good
whoa,
God,
whoa.
that's whoa.
Well, they might need that for if tech support comes around, but that's
Who will fix the computers? Who will fix them? Not me.
they're gonna have to outsource. They're gonna have to outsource America customer service. Welcome to the American government. My name is Steve. How may I direct your call?
Somehow I don't think your name is Steve.
Right. Right.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of people whose names have changed.
Oh God.
Okay, so initially when we put this in the script, what we were going to talk about is
dinner.
Is that Kanye had gone to dinner. I'm sorry, Ye had gone to dinner with Trump and a noted white supremacist.
If you're watching one, that's just a
Noted white supremacist Nick Fuentes, who interestingly has a Spanish last name. Not sure what the
And still couldn't
origins.
get laid in high school.
No, of course not. Look at him.
Spanish last name, white supremacist haircut.
Well, yeah, and face
And suit.
yeah. So that was the story, right? That they had gone to dinner.
And Milo Yiannopoulos.
And no, Milo came after.
He was at that dinner too.
Was he at the dinner?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay, was at the dinner, but then
Because
he did
they are
the
both
interview
employed by Kanye
by
West
Kanye
now.
West.
He
And
can employ
MTG.
people? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they work for his presidential campaign.
Oh, I forgot he's running.
And
doing that.
MTG has also got Milo working as an intern.
I don't know if he's still an intern with her, but
Was anyway.
But yeah, he definitely was at one point. Yeah.
So anyway,
Pay your interns.
that would be not him.
Nah, I'm just joking.
That would have been the story.
Yes.
Because it couldn't get crazier than that.
And the story that followed on that was the lack of condemnation by a lot of Republicans.
Yes. Yeah. No
Okay,
one said
or
Or
anything.
the ones that would just say anti-Semitism is bad, and it's like, why are you putting out that tweet?
Yeah, you shouldn't need to, like, that's the thing. Okay.
You're not saying anything about why you're all of a sudden out of nowhere just saying
It's
that.
bad.
So like Mitch and a few others came
bad,
out. Now
bad.
I wanna highlight this, that the PBS NewsHour had sent a questionnaire to a number of Republican elected officials, and they are updating it as we speak. So if you go to their website, you can see if they've posted a response to this. At time of press, at the time that we printed this show, there was a precious few who had answered these questions. I'm going to read the questions so that people can get some idea why these quotes that hopefully Charlie can do the voices of. Except maybe you want to. Well, no, it's a spokesperson for Tim Scott, so you're okay.
Yeah, I'm not touching that shit.
Now in the 20-foot
I
fall.
was like, yeah, that's not good.
Okay, these are the questions that the PBS NewsHour asked elected Republican officials. Do you think it was appropriate for Trump to meet with Fuentes and Ye? Do you condemn it? Do you call on your party leadership to speak out on it? Okay, go for it. These are a select few quotes from some of the elected officials who actually answered. The vast majority, there were like 6 or 7 that answered this out of 57 asked, by the way. Most of them had no comment.
All right, so who's the first one?
It says right there.
Okay, I thought you were going to introduce it. Okay.
Oh, no.
So-
Noted senator from the great state of even plainer than the Trump steaks.
Even plainer
Utah.
than white rice.
Yes. Mitt.
I think it's been clear that there's no bottom to the degree of which Trump will degrade himself and the nation. And even though Trump is very tall, I thought he must be involved in sport. But he's not involved in sport. Remember when he said that?
Yes. That's very funny. But yes, also, so, okay, Mitt has no problem, like, throwing shade at
This is the same Mitt Romney who came to Trump Towers during his presidency.
Oh, the best, that
This is-
picture.
isn't that
That
the- this is
picture
the
of
same-
them having dinner,
Right, he
thinking
came
he
to the
was going to
press.
get Secretary of State. Thinking he was guaranteed Secretary of State. That picture. Mwah. I don't, Trump's a shitball, but that picture
an excellent
of him,
troll.
of him like,
Okay, who's next on the list?
Marco Rubio.
Oh,
who-
yeah,
so
that's
who
your buddy.
just has a plain voice. I hope Trump will condemn him because I know Trump is not an anti-Semite. Wink,
Sure.
wink. I can tell you for a fact that Trump is not this guy, is not, but this guy is evil, and that guy is a nasty, disgusting person. He's an ass clown.
So, all right.
I just wanted to give
Credit.
Which is also for him the pot calling the kettle black.
Yes.
ass clown.
But credit.
Yeah.
That is the correct position to hold on Nick Fuentes. He's an ass clown.
Ass clown.
All right. Next. Now, we want to be clear. This is not
Tim Scott.
the voice of Tim Scott. This was a
spokesperson.
spokesperson.
I'm assuming because she works for a Republican senator, I'm going to assume
white.
that she has a zero waist and is blonde.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
It's unfortunate that it continually needs to be said, but of course the man who dedicated his career to stamping out hate and racism thinks it's a bad idea for anyone to elevate racists or anti-Semites. Senator Scott's vision for America is rooted in opportunity, optimism, and freedom, standing in stark white contrast with the recent comments from Kanye West and the vile rhetoric of Nicholas Fuentes.
You're good.
Yep. That's
I
her.
had the hair color wrong. I had the hair color wrong.
that's
I had the hair color wrong.
She's a ginger. But all right, way to be, Charlie. Your instincts serve you well. You're like a Jedi.
So staffer for a Republican senator.
I mean, yeah,
Like-
Yeah, come on now. Right?
it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Might never mind.
And then there's Senator Tommy Tuberville.
Tuberville,
I say it how it's how it's done.
former coach of the failed.
I tell you,
Auburn.
Trump better make good choices better.
Yeah, that sounds.
Because the man's a fucking moron.
He is a fucking moron. That's a Rex Tillerson quote, but that's fine. Okay, very good. Way to go, Charlie. Thank you for providing the voices. Yes. Oh no. Challenging my reflexes. All right. Are we shocked?
No. What the hell? No.
Okay, so that was the story.
Nope.
I thought we were going to skip it. I was like, oh, we're going to break?
No! But that is not the story because everybody's favorite gold digger has decided that he wanted to go on Alex Jones and make Alex Jones look sane. Now,
We used to.
I know you're not telling. I know you're not telling that. I know you're not telling that Hitler. I know you're not Nazi. I know that you're not Adolf Hitler. I'm telling you that right now, brother.
That's right. Not with the little Hulk Hogan in there.
I'll eat Mitch McConnell.
Born on the cob.
I'm ready.
he was, and he
They're
hosted
turning
it.
the frickin' frogs gay.
That's right. So the guy who's mad about gay frogs tried to give Kanye a chance to be not Hitler.
And Kanye, for
And
some reason,
Kanye-
decided to show up dressed as a corporate sex gimp. He looked like a gimp wearing a NASCAR jacket. It was
Said
the
better
weirdest
than I
thing.
could
There
have.
was a NASCAR jacket. I saw it.
I don't know if anybody else noticed, but he brought with him a net, like a that you would use
Because
to fish.
apparently, now that Gallagher's dead, someone has to take that mantle.
So he
Prop comics, we need-
yes,
we
he
need
brought
about
a net and a bottle of Yoo-Hoo, the drink,
What?
because he was mad at Benjamin Netanyahu for condemning him for attacking the Jewish people. This is not funny by any stretch. But
It's not funny in the way that he wanted it to be
yes,
funny.
Yeah. But it's very funny to watch him try to do comedy because he's not funny.
That's why he brought that.
That is
This
why he
real.
brought that.
And
stuff.
I'm watching this, I'm like,
I haven't
and I'm
seen
watching
this.
it. You know, the weird thing about this is that I find myself.
Brian's got a clip.
No,
Oh
God.
no! Don't
I gotta
wait.
watch
Maybe
this
don't
shit.
play too much of this.
Yeah,
Brian.
I don't know if
I
it's.
just showed a video. You guys can.
All right,
Alright.
we'll talk. Just turn the
So the
audio
weird
off.
thing about this now is that I kind of understand kind of how Michael Jackson fans feel now, because like I'm looking at him doing this crazy shit, and I'm just going, God damn, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a great album.
And it can be
It's
that.
a great album.
And it can be that. It can be that, right?
It can be that.
He's like the same with Michael Jackson. All these people like the music piece of it. It can be that piece
it
there.
can, and his dancing can be that.
It is that. There's no denying it. But first of all,
See, now look at him. He has the mask on his head. He looks like a gimp.
Alex Jones is dressed like Kanye used to dress.
And the weird thing about it is that wardrobe is an upgrade from what we've been seeing from his fashion line.
The Fisher The fisherman look is Drew tweeted out the other day.
All right, so he basically comes out and
he's like
says,
the unknown comic from the Gong Show.
He actually says that Hitler was great. He had a lot of good ideas, and he goes on to say that
no wonder Candace Owens likes him so much.
We should stop dissing Nazis. Alex Jones tries his best to cover for him. You're not Hitler. You're not that. You're better than that. You know.
Right.
No, he's not.
And he's like, no. I am that. I'm all with that. I'm all for it. You know, these Jews are doing whatever the fuck. Okay. So as I was discussing with Brian earlier, I think this might have actually de-dangerous Kanye a little bit.
Because it's finally gotten to the...
so fucking nuts.
It's gotten to the... like. It's gotten to that point where, like, even I'm like, yo, we're talking.
I don't think it has. I don't think it has.
Because the problem is, it's serious issues that we have to talk about with unserious people, and that's what frustrates me. That is what frustrates me so much about all of this stuff. It's like,
and that's why I think it's not. It doesn't even take the because it's still as dangerous as it was because he naturally has a platform wherever he goes, just because of who he is.
Yeah. Right. But the veneer of seriousness or the veneer of
seriousness was never there, but he's still putting it out there.
So I am understandably fairly unnerved and sick to my stomach about this stuff. I mean, like I can't look at that. What am I supposed to feel about that? I don't know, but it's not good. And Kanye, we'd like to invite you on this show.
He will not come on this show.
We will be
you
turning.
Can invite him. Here's the thing.
We will be turning the cameras and the microphones off for that period of time, and we'll let you know what happens
silent
afterwards.
film.
We'll have the subtitle cards come up in the middle of it. We'll put it in black and white with old-timey piano music under it.
I like the conversation we had before the show. It is this man, this person, wherever you want to, the gimp, what do you want to call him? He's beyond help. It is there. I don't.
Well, and
the main reason is this. It's like I said, the places that he goes is the places he feels comfortable. Is the only places where people will accept him.
Right.
So it's kind of unfortunate the fact that it's like, him coming here. Trust and believe, all three of y'all will shut him down.
Shut him down.
Yeah, because he will not talk.
Whatever.
And then as soon as you confront him on anything, he'll do what he did with Tim Pool, stand up and walk out.
Right.
I'm gonna tell Kanye
I can't talk to people
right
who don't
now.
read.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm gonna tell him right now. I would do to him what his beloved Hitler would do to him. I mean, it wouldn't be a question. He could walk up on those Nazis and be like, "Look at all the demonized." It would be over.
Right.
They wouldn't tolerate even 3 words out of his mouth.
But so at this point, and there was something else because people can't help but sense
It's the Piers Morgan thing all over again. Don't be on the same side as Piers Morgan.
On the Piers Morgan, when he said it, he was like, well, I empathize with the straight white male. And he got to the point where he was basically saying, because they have power and I'm going to be there soon. And it's just, he wants proximity to whiteness so bad. It's one of the things that
he might have overswung a little bit.
It's like, yo, all right. Like,
yo, bro.
You could have just, you could have
Proximity to whiteness is marrying a white girl and having several white children. He did that.
Does Armenian even count as white?
Yeah, I don't know. She's pretty. But like,
she's pretty.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. But again, I'm very tired of having talking about serious topics with unserious people.
With people who have it's like somebody who's claiming to run for president. He doesn't have a fucking platform.
Like Trump didn't have a platform. He won.
No, he had.
His platform was strong.
No, he had issues. He had issues in more ways than one. No. He had issues.
All right. The second time, he has the literally same platform, including opposition to the current president, which he was at the time.
No,
this is pretty good. Cut and paste.
Yeah, so I mean, look, at this point, he's going to continue to go out and say things in outlets that he wants to say, and I mean, again,
we're not getting any more records, are we?
Of course, you're going to get more records out.
You're going to get more shitty Christian music.
I think what will be very interesting, though, is let's say eventually he comes out of this type of shit, right? Because this country loves it. People are gonna welcome him.
They love a comeback.
They love the comeback.
They love a comeback.
And that's where I want to. I'm interested. 10 years from now, let's see where he's the climate conservationist and he's coming.
It's when he gets back. It's whenever he gets back on his fucking meds.
It does.
That's the thing you got, and that's what I was thinking about what you were saying. You know, this is a man who is obviously in a manic episode. I know that because I have been there.
I am also somebody who deals with mental illness problems. As I was talking about prior to the show with Brian, and anybody would listen, that like mental illness is not an excuse for abject
Let me
racism.
know when you're mental illness. It leads you to do crazy. It leads you to do crazy episode.
It leads you to do crazy shit without thinking of the consequences.
That's true.
Fair,
because
I remember what it was like before I was on my current medication regimen.
Every week when I was ready to kill myself, I would think about whether or not the Washington football team would win, and I would wait and see.
Probably should have made a different decision.
Yeah, but I would wait and see if they won, and that would buy me another week every week, and that is very definitely.
Wow, you put your life in Dan Snyder's hands.
No. This was this is Jack Kent Cook era, but it's not much better. But in any case, it was like, just waiting to see what would happen. Like that. Okay, I get it. Like, but in no point during that did I devolve into some racist diatribe about some other group. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was down on myself. It wasn't about other people. Jesus fucking Christ, Kanye. What are you doing, buddy?
He's not Jewish, though.
He's nothing. He's nothing. He needs to stop and shut up.
I told you that.
He just needs to go
back to Wyoming.
Wyoming?
I don't care. Just go away. Just go away.
I don't know. Look, there'll be more, and we'll
be here next week.
Damn it!
Join us next week for Kanye chat when he's
railroad
here.
No, gay chat.
Threatening us.
Railroad
chat. Chip yay. I don't know what to call it.
Lord.
You've been replaced.
Hey, look. If that's the case,
I was going to say cheeses, but I don't know if that
that's funny. I like that. Join us next week for Jesus.
Jesus.
All right,
Real cheeses.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk to somebody who has some real talent who we actually want to talk to.
Yes.
Sorry, Charlie.
Fuck you.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Sweeps.
Listen, back in the day when I was a young fella, son, before Instagram and before I had a cellular, you can catch the Nomad, listening to go-go. Loved hip-hop, but back then it was a no-no. Papa always told me black music keep evolving. Lucky Days, so influenced by Marvin. So with the hip-hop, keep the bass cooking. As long as we move the people, so real good looking. Me and Prowess Mike, gather the pawns and the rooks in. Put the bars in the pudding to show you where the proof's in. This that native tongue style. Shout out to a tribe called Quest, oh yes, we DC, keep it live, y'all. Music is revolution, it might drive you crazy, but if it moves something, then shake it, baby. All the way to Africa, aka the motherland. Niggas still moving that contraband, catching a rubber band. Shorty gun in the bra, sink in the other hand. Breath smelling rank like Shabba, Mr. Loverman. This is Steve Jobs, so quote on deck. Cause we gon' give them what they don't know that they want yet. We gon' give them what they don't know that they want yet. Sit, so give it to them. Give it to them. We gon' give them what they don't know that they want yet. Yeah. So give it to them. Give it to them. Yeah, Priest, give it to them. We gon' give them what they don't know that they want yet. Yeah.
Word to the sunrise, rather less contagious. Another page written for ages. Alert the mages, cause it's magic in the air. For every treble, there's a bass and a snare. So prepare for the top, I could catch a flight of stairs. No luggage, emotions never come with a budget. I'm happy as can be, and your catches a fatigue. Cause it doesn't make the cut when it's erased from the scene. We just graceful, supreme curators. While we create the dream, we integrate. Catch the vape, we incinerate, and we flavor with the flavors. I'm a lifesaver. So make a stop for the urgency, grab a lightsaber. It's an emergency when I labor with mic pages. So take a knee while we iterate. The night raiders, they infiltrate where we innovate while we rhyme in a figure 8 like ice skaters. All these tribes is hot butter, they just microwaved it. My city undiscovered, but we validated. Often favored by the school of monarchs rule, who also laid the pavement of good intentions, honorable mentions. We carry on traditions like premonitions, and we gon' give them what they don't know what they want yet. We gon' give them what they don't know what they want yet. Yeah. So give it to them. So give it to them. We gon' give them what they don't know what they want yet. Yeah. So give it to them. So give it to them. Yeah. We give it to them. We gon' give them what they don't know what they want yet.
Let's go.
We gon' keep them bumping for life. We gon' give them something so nice. We gon' keep them coming for life. We gon' give them something so nice. We gon' keep them bumping.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
That music was from our guest.
Yes,
I don't know if
indeed.
you've heard of him before.
I have.
Have you met him before?
I have.
He was on the show one time.
He was on the show one time, and he back again.
A couple times,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Even before my time.
Yeah, so that was from the new record, which I'm holding in my hand. This is a record.
Yes.
I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
This is a record.
Don't do that to me. Like I went to the B Grinders at Cap City Records.
Okay,
So don't do that to me. But
So
I don't know about
it's not a record. It's a CD.
It's a CD, but that's all we can call a record at this time.
It's just a
outside
record.
unless you have the
Yeah.
actual record. which
No, I
you got.
got the record.
Don't put it on a phonograph.
I did not. I did not
That's
put
coming,
this on
that's
the
coming,
45,
actually.
but you can go on to Bandcamp. What's the Bandcamp officially?
PriestDaNomad.bandcamp.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's where I got this record, which I got like the day it came
Physicals
out.
and digital. Yep.
There
Yeah.
it is.
It's called Receipts. Hey, Priest, welcome back to the
What up?
show.
What up? What up? What's up, fellas?
So, thank you for this amazing album.
Yes.
Man, I appreciate
have
it.
been playing it like nonstop since I
Appreciate
got
it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Actually, I was playing some of the songs before I got it. 'Cause- well, you
Look at you.
yeah,
you
yeah.
had released a couple of them before.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, I was.
I've
digging
released
it.
3 singles off this already, and I got another probably 3 I'm going to release next year.
Well, one of them might feature somebody in a video.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to highlight that.
yeah.
So
Never
okay.
won
Well,
not
we
to
can talk
highlight
about
yourself
that.
in
We
the
can
video.
talk about that.
I get this phone call, and my phone says Priest Da Nomad's calling you. I'm like, whoa,
Go.
this is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It's a good day. And I pick it up. Hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, I'm shooting this music video, and I need somebody who looks like Steve Kornacki. And I was like, I got you.
What?
I can do it.
I said a Kornacki-like.
Yeah.
My husband right there.
Future husband of Charlie, Steve Kornacki.
I mess with Steve Kornacki, man.
Yeah.
That dude, he's
We're
on it.
all fans of
He's
the big
on it,
board.
man. He's on it. About his business, you know what I'm saying?
So that's not the part of the story.
Okay.
The part of the story is I texted my wife. I've been cast in a rap video.
What?
Close.
On cue.
Awesome.
That
Close.
is on cue.
I'm going to give each of you a guess of what the text message back said. Go ahead.
Are you rapping?
No. Good guess.
Are you getting your ass beat?
Also not. It was 2 words. Oh, Lord.
Can I try?
Yeah.
Are you playing a racist cop?
No. Good guess.
That's a good guess.
No.
That's a good guess.
So it just said, oh, Lord.
And it's true. You do reach out to the Lord.
That's about right. So thank you for that. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time, man. I mean, it's gonna be crazy, man. So
You need other people to show up, though.
There's gonna be a lot of people. Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say, I don't think
it's the joint. What's the joint with DJ Cool? So he posted it on his page too. So it's already gonna be crazy.
I played her the original track, like
the music, yeah, the
loud enough,
1988
like,
version, yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, this is pretty good. You're gonna be on." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be on. Don't worry, it's cool. I know people." And then she didn't talk to me for 2 days. Okay,
because you know people.
Well, you know. All right, let's focus. The new record is very cool. When we got it, one of the things that we're both really talking about, and this is why I brought the physical cover in, is the cover art itself.
Yeah,
which is really kind of awesome.
There's a whole story behind that.
Yes, that's what we want to know. That's why we wrote that question.
Shout out to my man King RG, man. He did the photos, actually. So he did the photos, and my man Night Train 357 actually did the graphics. So I live up in Howard County now. You know what I'm saying? Got the kids in the good schools and all that.
Of course.
Right. So
choose civility.
Yeah, man. So there's a Weiss grocery store right down the street from me, right on Route 1.
I know where it is.
Yeah. Right by 32.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, man, I go there all the time in the morning. So I was like, all right. So I told Reg, I was like, yo, dog, we're gonna go guerrilla this shit and take all my articles, and I got all the stuff in the basement, articles, I'm subject of books, I got all of this stuff, CDs, VHS tapes, shows, everything, man. So I was like, city paper covers, all that. I was like, we're gonna take all this stuff and throw it. I said, I'm gonna bring the camera, just be ready. You know, because it's everything we've always done. We've always guerrilla this shit. It was never no permission.
It's pretty much how hip-hop
Never
works.
asking nobody no shit. Because by the time you figure this shit out, we done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What the fuck?
So I was like, look, all right. So we went into the grocery store. And so I grabbed the cart because I wasn't gonna go shopping. So I told my girls, it's funny because my wife had she had went to work, and then so my girls would say I was staying home. My girls in the summer. I said, y'all, you know, just go to sleep. I said, y'all be all right. I'll be back. We'll go to the store, get some cereal. Okay? Brought all the stuff to the store, Slim. Went in there, and, you know, this little Asian girl up front. She was like, hi. I was like, hey. I said, yeah, man. I said, man, ask you something real quick. I said, you know, I come here all the time in the morning. She's like, yeah. I said, hey, so a friend of my friend right here, he goes to, you know, school at community college, Howard County Community College. I said, he got a photography program that he's has to do a little assignment. I said, you mind if I just throw some stuff on the conveyor belt, take some pictures of it? And she was like, yeah, no problem. Whatever. I said, all right. I said, yeah. So I was just about 10 minutes. I said, go. do all this shit on the fucking conveyor belt, dog. By the time
we talked his way into an album cover?
We started taking pictures. Like, so then the manager comes over, like when we're taking pictures, and they're like talking, like, what's going on? Let's do this. He said, hey man, it was a black dude. Hey man, what's going on? I said, yeah, my man goes to college, he taking out a photography project. I just let him take some pictures of some stuff I had. We just kind of wanted to. He said, so are you taking pictures of the store? I was like, no. I said, just the material. He said, all right. Well, you know, just about like wrap it up in like 10 minutes. I was like, yeah. We got. Go.
That is such a good
he's just like boom. By the time the GM comes, I said, oh yeah. Well, I said, you know what? I think we're good.
Here.
I think we're good.
Cool.
Yeah. Got everything we need, Slim.
That is
dude.
Yeah.
You know, because they had the self checkout,
right?
The self checkout, but they got
the
conveyor belt joint.
Right.
Yeah, they got the ones with the long conveyor belts.
A couple of the Giants got that too. It's real nice. Real handy, actually.
It's not the little kiosk joints and stuff. So I was like, yeah, that's. I was like, yo, we're gonna put all this shit. So he grabbed part of it with, you know, the front with me, and he actually did my Night Train actually put my logo and stuff on. I grabbed a blank receipt. So I'm holding a blank receipt, but he actually superimposed the logo, the graphics.
Priest logo on there.
Yeah, my man Night Train.
I was wondering about how you did that. I didn't know if that was done in post or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant.
That's the graphic work. So,
you
know, shout out to Night Train.
It's genius. And it's cool because
it's all real. It's all real.
Well, we recognize some of the material on there. We're like, oh, yeah, I got that.
The
record,
rap pages, the Source, Billboard.
Yeah.
Like all the city papers, Washington Post joints.
With a cover like that, what do you think about your legacy in doing this so long in this area?
Good
question. What is it? Just especially with a cover like that. There's receipts because you like. That's
I mean,
telling
the
it
whole
right there,
album is
right?
about
Well,
that.
you know, that's what I said. This year is special for me because I'm celebrating 30 years.
Right.
So yeah, I'm
That's what we
celebrating.
talked
That's the
about
whole
last
thing.
time.
I'm celebrating 30 years of doing him actually performing. Started performing in clubs in '92.
Right.
So at the Ritz and all these clubs, Kilimanjaro, all those spots. So it's just been, you know, my thing now, dog, is documentation. It's just that there's so many that came up with me that are not even discussed anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I'm part of a scene that still has yet to get its really just due as far as recognition from the city. You know, DC.
Right.
So the whole U Street art scene, the revitalization of that in the '90s, we were part of it. We spearheaded that. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many prominent people that came through that. We've talked about that, and then and so we trying to make that connection. So I'm working on a documentary as well. The documentary is all the interviews are done. We're just pretty much editing. So in the documentary, it's my story. It's a 30-year DC music story. But in that story, we're talking about a lot of the lack of infrastructure and issues that have kept things separated in the way that they are outside of go-go and with go-go as well.
Right.
But how so many people cannot know each other, right? But all are doing amazing things in this
Like
locale.
ships passing
I mean,
in the
and
night.
even in the same lookout, like I met Nonchalant. Me and Non are real cool. I met Nonchalant in just a few years ago in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, I
And
think
you
he told us
even know
2019
that
at the
and
hip.
y'all two had been passing each
That's-
other
yeah.
like so many times, and then you finally meet her, and then it's
I
like,
had never really seen her where I'm at. I think maybe one award show or something, but we had never really crossed paths. I had never seen her. You know what I'm saying? So it was like when I finally met her at the hip hop museum joint where Biz got inducted.
Right, okay.
That's where I was. You know what I'm saying? So that thing, and that's when I really met her. And because my man ADST was like handling her stuff.
who's got something to do with the video,
With what? With what?
with the video that we're doing on Thursday, isn't that? And
ADST?
yeah,
I mean, he'll be there, but he's not.
okay.
He's not.
Well,
He's
sorry,
not.
he was gonna
No.
I'm just excited to meet him.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be there. That's fam. He's like, that's my fam, my media guy, and everything. So, so it was like, I was like, Shorty, I've been doing stuff since the early '90s. You've been doing your thing. You dropped your joint at what 94, 95, I think. She 5 o'clock. I said, how come we just now meeting? You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to the lack of infrastructure that
pieces.
would force us to be connected. You know what I'm saying? And so we talk, but I got all walks. I got all the go-go heads. I got the go-go, some of the go-go heads. You know, I got Cool in it. I got, cats who do both Stinky Dink, Killer Cow, Essence.
Okay.
I got Radio Cast. I got like Gemini. You know what I'm saying? CeeLo, Funk Regulated CeeLo's gonna be in it. And he's out of town. You know, so I got Delia Gonzalez from Channel 9. I got like all different perspectives, and of course a lot of the U Street heads.
Well,
you
we
know what I'm
have, we
saying?
have a good connection to her.
You know what I'm saying? So all of the U Street folks, you know what I'm saying? Poem C's, Head Rock, you know what I'm saying? West Felton.
Right, yeah,
Like,
which
then
is on the
I
album.
got Ta-Nehisi Coates,
Right.
Camilla, the hip hop theater with Chad Boseman and all that. Like, so it's so much prominence that has come through our area, specifically U Street, man, the U Street corridor. That is something that we talk about as well. And we also talk a lot about the DC New York beef, which a lot of this was street shit actually.
Yeah.
So we talk about that as well.
Talked about that.
Yeah.
So that's in the documentary too.
Yep.
That's amazing. All right. So the last time that you were here, we talked to you about some of those things. Later, our esteemed producer Brian made a clip show where he takes clips from all of our shows and he makes them into these little files and stuff.
Dope.
And then he played the clips to us at the end of last season for us to talk about or guess what the names of the clips were. One of those clips featured you, and we were joking about how you look like one of the statues on the mall, like a giant granite man. Like that you're this mountain of a man. I mean, you're huge. and we were, we were thinking, like, if you had a statue commissioned of you, why would it not be whatever Dan Snyder did to Sean Taylor?
Oh my God. Don't go there, man.
It's a long way to go for that joke.
Look,
that was terrible.
I quit that damn sport and that damn team, but
that made me sick.
But as a former fan of that, I was very frustrated.
Frustrated?
I said, I'm being nice here because, again, I was frustrated because I quit that narcotic. I was frustrated for the fans because, again, this city is on a Monday after that team won. Nothing ever felt like that. Like, you could be on the 70, you could be on the train, wherever. Everybody was talking about that.
We're all happy.
Everybody was happy, and it was one of those things where it was the type of energy that team brought to the city. And what he has done, like, on the way out to do that, he had him with the Reebok. He had
three different.
He had the
Reebok jersey, Nike pants, and Adidas boots. I mean, come on.
The biggest no-no.
No.
In the city, right? The biggest.
And I was like, no.
Biggest Bama shit.
Look, I know, right?
It's looking like a straight.
Retiring the jersey as all the shit's coming down about.
Oh yeah, he did do that.
They retired the jersey.
Using him as a cover for all the shit that's
and they created Sean Taylor Way or whatever. Like, if there's one thing that he could do to get the fans back on his side is do something respectful and good for Sean Taylor, and he whiffed.
Can't do it.
He swung and missed,
man.
as hard as possible
To try to.
and then he blamed it on his daughter.
You are who you are, player.
Yeah, that is true.
Dan
That
Snyder
man
hates us as fans. He hates
He's the
us.
biggest fan and hates the fans.
I'm the biggest fan. Fuck him.
Well, not fair. To move this back on, just to like the go-go piece that you talk about, because on you talk about if you wanted to do hip hop in a certain time, folks would look at you and be like, "What?" Like, and like even for me, like. I graduated out of school in 2006, but it was still that. And like, right, I know, I don't like you. I know he hates when I do that. But right, even then, like, and saying like, hey, yo, me and my boys like, yo, we're gonna go like record hip hop music. People look at you and be like, what? You ain't in no band? Like, and can you speak on that, like, on how, like, right, I think DC almost having like, and was overprotective of go-go to a point where it was like, that's what you were supposed to do. And it almost was like, hip-hop almost felt like that's what them northern motherfuckers did. And if you did that, you was
that goes to the street shit. Again. So, and it's eras. So
Right.
like in the 80s, it was love. It was like, it was a lot of the hip hop cats, of course, the Deep Run DMCs, the Dougie Fresh and all that. They was coming down rocking with go-go bands. They was
Right,
they had the go-go live and all that and Fresh Fest and all that. They just had to learn that you was not headlining over no go-go band. I don't care how big your record.
I went to see back one time with 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz open for him.
Dougie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Nobody's headlining over no, unless you're just
backyard
a small go-go band.
Yeah.
But like the top go-go bands, like, I don't care. Like Dougie will tell you, he had the hottest record when the show came out. He came and Chuck still had the headline.
Right. Of course.
I don't even think I think Essence was, I think he was even before Essence. So I was like him, Essence, and then Chuck. Right.
Wow.
So,
That sounds about right.
Yeah, man. So, I say that on the Me and Tracy Lee joint. I say I'm from the city where they go, fried wings and mumbo, but Run DMC never did us like Run Joe.
Right.
Would never hit us like Run Joe.
God damn.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where we and so the thing is that when all that stuff was happening, and then on the street end, Rayful and them was out there hustling. He got locked up in 90, right?
Right.
So he got locked up in like 90, like 89, 90, and right when he did, there was already New York cats coming down here.
Yeah.
The drug cats, if you know the names, the Alpos and all of, they was coming down here already, but it was love. It was because, Ray had shit on lock. But once that happened and that real estate got freed up, there was a lot of fighting for their territory, for just different hoods and all that. And, and it got real ugly, man. And there was a lot of, and the thing is that, we always been proud of who we are, because it's a lot of parallels with New York and DC, right?
Sure.
So because they had their art form and their culture of hip hop surrounded by music that was discovered making breaks, right, out of old records, right? And where here we are, we're live musicians. We're the live music town where there's same thing. It's the same concept, but it was live. You had a funk band that discovered a rhythmic section of a song that everybody would go crazy to, where the percussion was happening. So it's just like DJs found that break and said, let's keep extending that break. Now we're making it 4 bars, 8 bars,
because this is what the crowd is responding to.
That's what the crowd. Now we're making break beats, right? Then
we were doing
on
that
the go-go,
with real musicians.
Right? And so that's what Chuck. That's how he discovered go-go, because it was like the funk, but when the rhythm shit hit, everybody go crazy.
Because he came up playing the blues, and then they just kept reiterating and reiterating.
They kept extending that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it was like, okay, and then it was the call and response, same thing, call and response. But the culture went around it was, what's the culture? The culture is the language, the dress, you know, all of that around the expression of the music, right?
Right.
So DC, we had our own thing, Slim. You know what I'm saying? We was doing the Filas, the Elise, the Super Tims. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and they'll, you know, Castle New York will tell you, man, DC niggas was on the Timbs first.
That's the thing, yes.
They'll tell what they started doing in the 90s, we was doing in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They call them 40 belows. We call them Super Tims. We had the Super Tims, and you know, but the Black Hole, the Celebrity Hall, if you know, like my generation, Slim, you get, like, everybody had them jaws, and if them shits cost $200 back then, so if you had a pair of them jaws, everybody know you was hustling. There was no way that you had a pair of Super Tims, and them motherfuckers had the trench, the leather trench or the jean trenches with the shotty in it.
Was like kind of a thing.
Yeah, because they used to pack the motherfucking shotguns up in that motherfucker.
They had a reason for it.
But anyway, so it was like, once that started happening, and this is like 91, 92. This is right around the time where I start rocking, and I'm rocking on the college scene with a lot of New York cats.
Right.
Because I'm at Howard parties.
Right.
At Howard parties.
Draws a lot of out-of-town
Trey Lee
folks.
and them, Guru and them are there.
Right.
Like, all of that stuff is happening, and I'm rocking with that. And then, you know, my man who eventually starts managing Biz, we're all on that scene. I'm not a street cat, so I don't know what's going on that end. But I just knew that every time we was doing our thing, and it was about the craft of rhyming. We wanted to represent what we was at,
right,
with the craft, right? So, but New York, I mean, DC cats was just like, these two dudes was like, man, you trying to be, that's that Bama New York shit. We don't fuck with them niggas like that. We don't fuck with them like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it got to be on that. Oh man, you doing that shit, man? Fuck that, because it was the beef. It was like and then come to find out, and that's why I got to get CeeLo on the documentary, because he was at PGC right at the time when Nonchalant dropped 5 o'clock, and a lot, of course, if you understand, a lot of street dudes in New York were associated with the DJs and the labels.
Sure.
So they was all with the promoters and with the labels. It was all street cats. So because of the beef, DJs was coming from here. DJs was like, nah, we ain't playing that shit. We ain't playing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
that was when DJs got control of the radio too.
Everything everything was going through New York. If it was urban, everything was still going through New York back then.
Yeah, right.
There was Atlanta wasn't what it was. LA wasn't. I mean, it started coming, but New York was still like, even when they dropped records, they pushed them to New York.
Sure.
So all of that has something to do with it, man. And you know, but it wasn't until later in the late '90s, mid to late '90s, is where things started to loosen up with like Scarface and Pac.
Right.
Devin the Dude, all like it was like a certain style.
And everybody in the city was like,
but it wasn't really like the boom bap.
It wasn't like, that. It was, because you can't tell no one in the city
more
about
down
Scarface.
south. Yeah.
Everybody, you can you can like, which I mean, Face is the highest high level of like rhyming, but it was a specific style of hip hop where they're like, yeah, this is what we rocking with. Right. But it almost like, again, felt like to do hip hop music almost felt counterculture at a certain point in time here, which is weird for people, I think, to even hear. Because now everybody's like,
it was like it was go-go and punk were like the only two.
Those
things.
are the two things in there, and it's like, all right, well, I rhyme, like, okay, that.
Of course, R&B too.
Yeah, R&B, yes.
There was singing.
We had the R&B.
Hands down, right.
So the other day, when you and I were talking, you said something to me that I don't know if you meant it sort of in passing, but it was very profound, and I wanted to ask you about this. You said, I have a job and I also have a career. And I was like, holy shit. That's like a really important thing.
Right.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, the job is what you got to do to fulfill certain obligations, but the career is your purpose and your longevity and your long-term
Sometimes
thing.
those things align, right? Like some people feel like they do.
Yeah, I mean,
but can you have multiple careers at the same time? That's what I
most people do. I mean, most people are like, most people have multiple ways of income. Whether that's a job for you or it's a career, it's a side hustle or whatever.
Pursuit, maybe.
Right. So the thing is, I mean, especially with today's economy, today's thing, I mean, it's like, it's multiple hustles and especially the way the industry is now, a lot of the jobs have been decimated because the industry has changed, right? There's no big model, no big budgets.
There's no A&R man coming throwing you a bunch of cash and paying your way.
You ain't getting $500,000 budgets.
No advance, no nothing.
Nah.
That model has changed. That is never that is done.
So along with that goes the jobs and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. It affects studios. There's no big studios. Nobody's blocking out months.
That's true.
All of that type of stuff. So close down a lot of big studios. So the whole way of doing music and producing music, which is cut down. So what it is that everything is indie, and that's there's a lot of benefit in that because now I've always been indie, so I've always been outside as a nomad. I've always been outside the fray. You know what I'm saying? I've always did it for the culture. So my whole thing was I kept telling cats like, all we need to do is find a way to get the music straight to the people. If we can find a way to get the music straight to the people, it's over for these companies. It's over for them. And it eventually happened because technology caught up with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we can all make something, put it out for mass consumption. Of course, you have to get people to be interested in it and market it and all that type of stuff. But you can eliminate the BS. And now, so what happens is the people that I've always known were peers to me. Like I've always known Meth and Redman and people like that were peers. I don't look at them as like, oh my God, No, there's no difference between them and me except for they were up there where other labels were and opportunities and stuff. In fact, me and Redman have very similar stories with Biz. We were both under his wing at the same time. He was taking Redman around to parties and stuff, rocking with him when I was doing stuff with him as well. He was back and forth. Before he really moved down here, he was back and forth. So there was a lot of similarities, man, and we all the same age and everything like that. So and what happens now is, but the label separated all that, right? If you weren't, everything had to go through the labels, the radio promoter, the label promoters, all that stuff. So you couldn't even really get in the door because it was the payola, it was all of the stuff. Now that whole model's broken down, what happens? Now you got all of those same radio stations are playing our records along with those guys.
Yeah.
So, when my album came out, there was a number of people who put it side by side with with Nas' album.
Well, and it was on XM, like on the Shade 45, like on DJ Premier, like playing in the same sets with all of that stuff.
Yeah. All of that stuff.
It was
Beat Junkies. Beat Junkies in Cali.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these cats that have been, I mean, Diamond D hits me up. Like, like in the DMs, like it's the people that I would never think we could touch before. We could touch. You know what I'm saying? Me and Spinner. Like
that's true.
He was a fan. He heard that's how we linked. He was a fan
on the album.
I was a fan, and now you're on our show. I mean,
but the thing is that everybody's accessible now. So that's what the indie thing does, the breakdown of the corporate and the BS. But the flip side of that is it's much harder to stand out.
You got to work really hard.
It's much harder to because there's so much music, hundreds of thousands of records that are released.
Is open at this point.
Which is right. So it's so hard to navigate through it. That's why building a consistency in the brand is everything. People got to know what they're getting, and they know they're buying into a brand.
I know when I'm buying a Priest record, like I might not have heard but one song off it, but I trust it. The rest.
Right. That's what we're trying to establish, man. Yeah.
I think that's kind of always been the thing with music, but doing it yourself is harder.
Mm-hmm.
Because There was a time, like, let's say, I don't know, let's pick the Beach Boys, right? You know one Beach Boys song, they got a new record out. Oh, I heard one song off the record. I'm going to buy it. Whole album. All right. They've got a whole A&R and, like, hundreds of people behind them. Now you got to do that all yourself. And that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And to be successful.
I mean, but there's more tools now because you have the streaming and the playlist and curation of things that you can submit stuff to, but it still takes time. It's still I mean, like, that's a separate job.
And I think it all also really sort of surfaces the quality a little
I would
bit.
say you don't have to compromise at all either.
Right.
With what
Exactly
you do. There's no
right.
compromise. You go
want.
make what the fuck you want, put the shit out, and again, I know what my fans want to hear from me.
And see, that's the thing. Well, that's what has me have a job and a career. So I put myself, and this is I don't speak for a lot of artists do things different ways. Some was just, I went the route. I was totally dependent upon my work in the industry, as between an artist and an engineer for a number of years, right? So that didn't work for me. I'm a 6-figure dude, so I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was watching motherfuckers who wasn't half as smart as me get 6 figures, and I was like, you know what? I'm twice as smart as this motherfucker. Why am I sitting here working for? So my thing was, all right, well, let me get the dough, and then I got freedom to do whatever I want to do, right? Sure. Because I was stressing. I was taking stuff that I didn't want to do, taking work that I didn't want to work, like mixing stuff that was garbage, and just because to get money. You know what I'm saying? I hated that. So my thing was, I got into IT. I got into, on that end because I was an engineer, so it kind of was
it just made sense.
Went to school, got some stuff, and then boom, wound up, working in DC government, doing stuff like, and it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm at 6 figures, and it's like, well, along the way, it was like, I don't need this shit for money. I don't need to depend. So what it's done is
freedom.
It's given me such an incredible joy and options of palette. I don't have to think about, is this shit gonna hit? Is this gonna do something? Yeah. What are we gonna do?
You can make what you want.
Literally just make the music that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Right. I literally and it's just, for me, I don't have to rush. I don't have to put out a number of records a year. I don't have to be like, oh shit, I gotta go. I did this joint. I gotta put a whole number of record out. And my thing is, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm not one of those cats that rushes out music.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that's been lost in this microwave society is that we don't get intimate with music anymore. Like, we don't take the time to get to know an album, right? Like, we used to listen to that shit all the time.
Cover to cover.
Like, if it was a dope album and you're seeing, you giving the singles released, another singles released, you see the singles implemented in different ways or labels pay for, remix, and all that type of stuff. Then there's another single, and then this album has worked for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it's like, okay, but now cats want to, I got an album, and then next 2 weeks they putting out another record, and the album was, I know some cats make good music. They put out something. I'm like, oh man, this is dope, man. And then I go through, I say, let me get some time with it. But life is life. And you busy and, and then next thing you know, 3 weeks later, they putting out another album. And I'm like, dude, I ain't even get to.
You don't really get to appreciate the last record.
And they just putting out music. And I noticed that people are like, well, that's shit got to do to stay relevant. And I'm like, but some folks it is because they got more stuff and that for playlists. I get it, but my thing is that you got here's what my thing is. You got 5 albums and I may know 1 song, or 5 albums, or 2 songs because I didn't have enough time to get to know all that other material. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather put out an album and work that shit for 2 years. And I've already released 3 singles. I released Guess Who in the spring. I released My Way Home in the summer. Me and Spinner threw our joint out with no video. We just threw it out. We're doing the DJ Cool joint for early next year. We're gonna do Steve Jobs.
Right.
We'll talk to Prowse, talk to Jenna. We're gonna do that joint. Some old native tongues throwback.
Nice.
That's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I got 8 singles on this album, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me and Debo talked about doing something. Tracy wants to do a joint. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna let this thing work and let the, and it's doing well, man. It's hitting like, top albums of the month and this and that from different magazines and blogs and all. So, but you gotta give people time, man. Because I know, look, I put out the last album, Out the House. Yeah. It was a weird time, right? It was a weird time because people were it was in and out the house, right? People was going out, getting locked back down.
You never know when you was going to get back in the house.
No, but it was a breakout record.
Right. The single Before You Go, I did that. It was like a summer record. Well, I did that with my man Rage did me and Jay Hill. We did it in front of the Culture Coffee joint at Riggs Park. My man Zoe was in it and everything. I released that record and that summer, as soon as we did it, released it, cool, got some love, but it quickly died out, did some ads on it and then quickly died out. I was like, all right, blah, blah, blah. But I knew it was a hot record. I was like, so I'm just going to perform it. And so what happened was I kept performing it live, and it got to the point where it became one of those records I had to perform
every time.
You know what I'm saying? And then a year later comes up on the anniversary. I put the video out again. People go crazy.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
People went crazy.
I heard the songs, but like this is a new video.
All I did was say 1 year ago we put this record out, blah blah blah. A lot of people missed it. I still think it's a dope, blah blah blah. It shit went crazy. People were like they never. Oh, I missed this. Because the algorithms. Yeah. People don't see. A lot of people don't see the shit when you
post it. Yeah. And then it's new to them, even though it might not be new to you. It's brand new to them. Like, oh shit.
And it's like, there's no time limit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like it expires.
There's no time limit. So it's like, boom, next summer, it's boom, same thing with next summer. Next summer, I'm gonna throw that shit. Hey, look, this record, and that's the thing. It's like that's the challenge is fighting these algorithms because you post stuff and you think people that are connected to you, your friends, or
but it doesn't work. Top of the feed.
It doesn't work,
and that's where I find all this stuff around the social media because the only things that are going to stay at the top are stuff you pay for, or divisive shit.
Yeah,
all that shit, all the awful shit is
the negative shit.
Because that's the shit that unfortunately keeps people on the platforms.
Right.
So that's what they monetize.
They know that.
And they know it.
Of course they do.
It's sick.
All right. Speaking of which, how can people get your new record?
Oh man, it's all streaming platforms, man. It's on Spotify's, Apple's, and all that. But if you really want to show the artist love, I always say go to my Bandcamp. If you just Google Priest Da Nomad, PristDaNomad, that's the first thing that comes up. My Bandcamp.
Yep. Google fills it in for you.
The SEO is strong with your name.
You have a very specific name. There's nobody else out there.
That shit is coming up. Everything is coming up on that first page of Google.
And that Bandcamp site is dynamite because you can listen. You can get all the old records.
It'll let you stream it up to 3 times. I think it's like 3 times before it makes you buy it. So you can get to know all the catalog on there. You know what I'm saying?
You can buy the old catalog.
Yeah. And I got clean versions on there too. That's the only spot that has clean versions for DJs and all that. Only the regular version is distributed, but I got clean versions on the Bandcamp. So
and people can follow you on the socials. Where can they can follow you?
Instagram is the big one, is at Priest Da Nomad on Instagram. Twitter is at PriestDN. Don't at Priest Da Nomad me on Twitter. I'll be having to look that up. I'll be seeing I miss so much stuff because people at Priest at PriestDN on Twitter, and so the Bandcamp is right up there too. So those are the 2 big. So all the blogs and magazines tag me on Twitter. So
that's how that works. Yeah. Don't worry, Twitter's gonna be dead soon. Elon's killing it.
Man.
It'll be great.
Something new will be birthed. which will be interesting.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Something will. It always does.
I got kicked off of Twitter.
Twatter will return.
Twatter.
What?
Twatter. Twatter.
Excuse me?
That's Brian.
A hotter Twitter.
Slightly hotter. I'm slightly moister.
I was going to say, we can say that word?
Moist. You can say twat, you're British.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's like their favorite word.
It is. That's a good point.
All right, Priest, we're going to play one of your songs to take a break, and then we're going to come back with the third half of the show. You're welcome to stick around if you'd like, but if you're tired of us, we totally understand.
Hey, look, yeah.
I got to go scope this spot, but you know.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
All right,
thanks for hanging out with us. You're one of our favorite guests of all time.
Yes, appreciate y'all having me.
I can't tell you how great it is. And I'll see you on next week on
got
Thursday.
history to make, man.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'll get the big one. Dad, Brian, Jesus Christ. The rare case that my wife might be listening tonight. All right, we're going to take a break on that note. You're listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps.
Yo, Gully Squad. Well, you don't know, big bad and cold. Man like Priest, I'm like a pain on your soul. How will I deal with bad man them cold? How we them can't fall? And why this bit, them have got ton low. What you can DC, VAMD, DMV? They don't know say we with them envy.
So talking about, man, you know what I'm saying?
Priest, yeah.
A burst organs, niggas cue up the church organ. All you fuckboys better prepare for the earth scorching. Y'all don't believe in science no more, y'all all whores. But Instagram likes, y'all niggas are all fours. I say nah, my nomenclature alone make phonies hate ya. One titty, I knew then I was a freak by nature. Rage, what up? Be hot, my nigga, I'm loving it. Pen touch it, heavy verse under the covenant. Oh God, these niggas boo-tang, they boo things. Marion Anderson, about to show 'em my true range. Smooth Uber, scoop your best bitch in a blue Uber. Threesome, me and her friends, you between two Rugers. Cacao, I don't mean that chocolate bean neither. Cops always trying to give us chocolate king fever. That's the real COVID, we know what y'all work for. We sideline you niggas like turf toe.
We go by food, massive and people. Priest and block of people, there's no equal. Them a me doom, them can't walk in a way room. By the wind, them a go get concealed.
We coming through like boom. Guess who stepped in the room? You don't even know my style. Lord have mercy.
Woo! Never heard of them. We a smart walk from DC. Never heard of them.
Best believe everything I spit in the booth matters. You in the game spitting at shoots and ladders. We not the same, here's proof for data. Oratory like morning glory. Paper make knock 3 at the buzzer like Robin Ory. Oh damn, all hands on deck. King man, I like respect when I'm on mic check. Like I want to Marcel and Marseille. I get biz, plus I'm like the finest of all grades. R.I.P. big bro, my big toe on him.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Jeff. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
That was our guest, Priest Da Nomad.
Yeah, shout out to Priest. Always the dope guest to come on.
Man, I can't tell you. Yeah, receipts. Go get it. It's a great album. Back with us is Charlie.
Howdy.
Yes.
And unfortunately for the rest of you, so am I. Okay. Tez. It's time for your talk.
Yes, it is.
I hear that's a thing that we
have
we
do a test talk on here. All right, this week's test talk, we're going to talk about this great Washington Post expose that they've been doing on black head coaches. We've done a story on this before.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot
here. And then there was one that happened where we saw owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones,
unfortunately in a photo.
Arkansas.
In a bad photo.
In Arkansas, participating in, Look
at these dead ass birds.
That's okay. We're a little late.
He was doing, what's the acronym?
He was being curious as he stated inside the article.
He was doing white people shit.
But white people shit.
I don't know if we could call it curious. My freshman year of high school was being curious.
Well, now he's got blue hair, so it's fine.
But everybody jumped on this photo, and it's an outrage machine, which is a whole different topic that we could talk about ad nauseum, right? Where people are like, all right, well, we need to be angry at him in the picture, and that's fine. But did anybody read the article? That is all. I'm always asking people, please just read the article. Because Sally Jenkins did a really, and I'm blanking on the other person who was part of that. It wasn't just
Sally Jenkins is a fantastic writer.
She should get a Pulitzer.
This whole thing
several Pulitzers.
Because the photo was really kind of describing more so, they used that kind of to be like a parallel of Jones, his upbringing, and how that kind of influences his choices as head coaches, like, right? And,
or an owner.
And as an owner, and like who he decides to have on there and on his staff. One of the best quotes is he was talking to like minority, like prospective head coaches in this NFL accelerator program.
Rooney Rule.
It's like a mixer for the owners to get to know, like, the black coaches in the league.
I see you're a black coach. How nice it is to meet you. Yes.
So he's telling a story, right? And he's like, I'm 30-year-old wildcatter in oil, and he's desperate to get business. This Houston Oil Company. And he visits the chief executive's office. He sees that he has golf memorabilia on his, like, mantle in the office. So he calls his old coach from Arkansas, Frank Broyles, and he calls his old coach, and he's like, yo, you're a member of Augusta National. He's like, hey, coach, can I get you to go to Augusta and play golf with somebody? My goodness, Jerry, it has to be important. Like, that's the response to it. He said, it's probably the most important thing since I quit playing for you. So Jones orchestrates this guy to go play Augusta with his old coach. And then the guy says at the end of it, he says, Jerry, you think we're going to go do business with you because I got to play the master's course, and you're probably right. And they're talking about the article how Jones seems clueless that he's invoking this backdoor deal at a rich man's private club in the Deep South that didn't admit any black people.
He's totally unaware of that.
He just doesn't even get it. And it's one of these things where he's like, oh, well, my daddy, his grocery store, we let black people come through the front door. So obviously, they did such a great job. It was such great writing that everybody got caught up on, like, him being white in Arkansas in the time that it was
in the 50s.
In the 50s, and you know what? Yeah, he probably is influenced by the racism of that time,
and he's probably just as racist now as he was then.
Right? Again, him being a 15-year-old and that shit. Like, I'm not really gonna be the one to come down on, like, if you were there just to be there, whatever. But now, specifically now, on how he wanted to hire Denny Green because he was like, well, I know Denny Green, like,
right?
And it's one of those things where he's like, well, and he was so honest. He's the only owner that would go out on record to talk about this, which I will say, I will give him credit on that, where he's like, I'm Jerry Jones. What the fuck can you do to me?
Yeah, right.
Like,
he's untouchable.
I'm untouchable. And it was very clear in that article. He was just like, well, my daddy pulled himself up from his bootstraps. Why can't everybody else? And whenever it got to race, he almost was able to, like, he starts to, like, go into this meandering and, like, talking, and it's not like he's old and senile. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's how he deflects.
He's leveraging his cluelessness.
Yeah, and it was just a really great article. I implore everybody to go read that article.
Okay. Way to go. Striking a blow for literacy. Way to go, Tez.
Just read. Yeah, there you go. That's the bad
Read,
belt.
damn it. Read.
Yeah, just read.
All right. Now it's time for soccer. Which is what I think some people call football.
Yes.
Those people are wrong. All right.
Them damn foreigners.
Yeah. So USA played Iran, or as our captain calls it, Iran.
Yeah, come on, he went full Bush.
We finally got revenge for the hostage crisis.
Finally, yeah. Knocked them out of the World Cup.
I just thought that we might let them win this, the whole Soleimani type shit, because I'm still worried about that shit after, that was a couple of years. Look.
All right.
Yeah, we're worried for those players when they get back.
So let's really talk about that. I think all those players are dead. Like, they're going to go home and they're going to get shot.
Yeah, like, they're going to be the same fate as the North Korean soccer team from the 2002 World Cup.
So I told everybody I know that I think they're going to defect in Qatar, because Qatar hates Iran more than anything on the planet, and
that and equitable wages,
right? Or equal rights,
fair labor conditions.
Sure,
I love when those happy Qatari children throw up the thing in the sky. I love that little graphic. But
what I'm saying is that the Qataris need a PR victory, and what
after
they want
fire festival tents that they have going up there.
What they want to show is that they're the beacon of freedom after burning all the gay people, and so they're going to say
they behead them.
Yeah, sorry.
Before they
I got that.
There's
then they burn them afterwards.
Yeah.
But so then they're going to say, all right, so look, these Iranians were fearing their oppressive regime, and they chose freedom here in Qatar. Look at the world. Look at how great we are. But they're fearing for their lives because they didn't sing the anthem When the minute they
lost.
decided not to sing the anthem, they were deciding to defect. And if they'd have won, they might have got back home safely. And if they'd have lost, they're fucking dead.
The Iran thing is going to spill. They're not going to get out of this. I think that
they're going to defect.
Well, I'm saying that, but I think that government is going to.
It's over.
I don't know how long it's going to be, but this one does feel.
This is in 2009.
This feels a little different. I don't know. And I feel very weird even saying that because repressive regimes usually.
I would feel that, but as each day goes by, I feel like it kind of disappears a bit more into the cultural ether. And I kind of feel like as every day goes by where they are not deposed at, and you're talking about the Islamic regime, right? Being thrown out of power,
right? Yeah. Correct.
Every day, to me, it's like every day that goes by is a victory for them, and that solidifies their hold on power just a little bit more. I'm not. I want to be optimistic because I want a free Iran.
Yeah. Well, there was a point, like in Syria when Aleppo looked like it was going the other direction. Mm. And I was like, this is it. The Assad regime is done and it's over. And then, no, it wasn't. And now Syria is even worse off. So it could go either way.
Look at what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. Russia's been suffering all these setbacks, but they're still there.
But they still have the capacity to hang on for a really long time.
Yeah,
the Iranian regime has the capacity to hang on for a really long time.
I don't think
I literally joined Twitter because of the revolution in 2009. I thought it was like, all right,
but I don't know, do the protests quell it any? Does that stop? Because it does feel like that is continuing on.
I think we might have reached a critical mass where they can't really control the information as well as they want to. And that
I just wish it was being communicated better by American media.
I think Western media needs to do a better job of amplifying it. But remember, like at the end of the Cold War, we were talking about blah, 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 and it all turned out that like the thing that ended the Cold War was CNN. It was showing the Soviets what the West really was like. It was not lines for bread like they had. It was not.
It was also the humiliation of Afghanistan as well. That also
but beaming in Western media behind the Iron Curtain dissolved it. And we are at a point where the Iranians, the Chinese are also kind of dealing with this, where like they cannot contain the influence of the rest of the world anymore. And I don't know where this leads. It's probably going to be a lot of people dead, honestly, before anything good happens.
Oh no, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
And I'm terrified of that. But back to soccer.
Sorry. Well, this is what we're talking about. Well, hold on, friend. This is the world's game. This is what we're talking about.
The beautiful game.
The beautiful game.
Speaking of beautiful, we played to a draw with you.
Yeah. Look here. I do.
I got
my red coat. I got my red coat.
Here, you get to hit the bell for that one, there, Charlie, as an American.
There we go. I'm an American. I have my red coat on.
Go ahead. Explain yourself. You tied with us, England.
Look.
We only learned to play soccer like 5 minutes ago.
Shit match. England played terrible.
You're blaming England for playing terribly.
England played terrible. Luckily for you, you lot were able to get your draw, and then continue on with Iran.
So the USA's advanced.
And now
along with our favorite former colonial masters.
Yes, and then what do you call it? Now you gotta we fight the. I saw someone post something that we're not doing anymore. It's freedom pots. Right?
That's right. We're not. They're not Dutch ovens anymore. They're freedom pots.
They're freedom pots.
Now look, we learned in this group play that the Netherlands are vulnerable.
Yes.
The Dutch are not as good as we thought they were.
They're good.
Their best player plays for England. Go on. He is Dutch.
Yeah.
And England's best player is Robinson, who plays for America. So another thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. Argentina, Poland. That turned into like a crazy that actually mattered. All right, so here's the situation. Belgium is out.
Good.
The Golden Generation.
Good.
The former Evertonians, so many of them, including the coach, Roberto Martinez, former Everton great. Romelu Lukaku, former Everton great. Out. Gone. Germany. Out.
To right.
9.
Can you believe that? Germany is out.
Japan also sporting another Arsenal grid, Tomiyasu.
Japan looks
Takehiro Tomiyasu.
to the odds on. Like, Japan looks every bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Mexico sucks. Ochoa's good.
Oh, God, I knew
the rest
you
of
got-
the
yeah, I
team
knew.
sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So they're fucking gone. Saudi was the difference maker
Yes.
in that group. Who would have guessed? Nobody would have guessed. The three great Catholic powers. Argentina, Poland, and Mexico.
Saudi Arabia.
And then Saudi fucked it all up.
Yeah.
There's some story in there.
I'm not touching it. I got lots of things I'm just not even.
Canada wins the CONCACAF, and then they shit the bed.
Yeah.
In
Against
the
Tunisia, right?
They lost to everybody.
They lost everyone.
Canada
But they got
sucks.
their first 2 goals ever.
They got their first 2 World Cup goals ever.
The team I should support that has more Jamaicans on it.
Canada. That's right. And Uruguay, not through.
Not through.
Nope.
The
Luis
biter.
Suarez bit off a little more than he could chew.
Yeah.
That joke wrote itself. Actually, didn't even write it. It just appeared on the page.
Right. Exactly.
It's true. All right.
How you feeling for Saturday?
I'm gonna be up and ready and yelling. I'm ready to lose. I'm not super confident.
No,
If they win this,
they win. Surprisingly enough, with Germany gone, with Belgium gone, because I had predicted Belgium to win.
Well, sure.
I really think this is a wide open World Cup for the first time in a long time.
This is a very topsy-turvy tournament. Yeah. I mean, there's been upsets upon upsets. The post, okay, the goal posts and crossbars were the winners today in both the Belgium game and the Germany game. It was insane. Lukaku, who I've watched more of his games than almost anybody. I'm
right. Of course,
him and Pickford since I'm right. All right, but the dude missed at least 3 goals. He probably could have 5, but he missed 3 of them that hit him in the face, and he missed. The post knocked out several goals today.
The post has been sadly
the best keeper in the tournament right now. It's unbelievable.
It was the spirit of Leopold.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Look, man, you can't do that.
Belgium, you don't play for Congo.
You can't do. Look, that is.
I mean, you're right.
See, just that one. That's.
They've embraced their multiculturalism.
Yeah.
Kind of. In 3 languages.
And look, I thought I was going to use the chop them up joke with the Saudis.
Nope. No.
I forgot I had Belgium with
Check out that new line of bone saws they got.
All right, speaking of which, over there in Qatar, this is reported from CNN, 400 to 500 migrant workers are dead, but the Guardian and stuff is reporting that it's in
like 6,500.
many thousands.
That's the most that they've reported yet, so we should be thankful for that.
That's probably that's on the low end still.
That is on the low end. Look,
yeah.
Look at those happy workers by the sea.
The Qataris had somehow... I don't know how they got away with it. I mean, I know how they got away with it.
It's FIFA.
So here's
Today I feel Arab.
So here's my favorite thing about this is that there was various complaints. The Iranians complained about the Americans printing the Iranian flag without the Revolutionary Guard symbol on it. And who did they complain to? I'm going to give you each a guess. Charlie, do you have a guess who they complained to?
Like the authority they complained to?
Yes, which authority did they complain to?
FIFA.
Specifically?
Sepp Blatter.
Close.
The American coach.
Also no.
The current president of FIFA.
FIFA Ethics Committee. Now, the fact that those words exist...
That's like an HR department at the football team's headquarters.
It's probably the funniest joke in all of international football, soccer, or whatever you want to call it. The words FIFA Ethics Committee. That is unfathomably stupid. The only organization on the planet more corrupt than FIFA is the Qatari government.
Or the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Like, they found finally their match. Yeah, but they're probably not going to try to book the World Cup in the Beverly Hills Hilton.
Depends how much.
Don't count them out.
So, like, the Qataris, murdered all their slave laborers, and, there's 3 million people live in Qatar. Only 1% of them are Qatar. Like, the whole
what
thing.
What did the ad look like to come build the stadium? They were probably promising.
Oh, no, they paid, the workers paid to go there.
What's it called, Kalal?
The kafala system.
Kafala system, yeah.
The workers pay the brokers to get them the jobs there.
And then
they go into debt for it.
And I can't go home once I get there. They
can't
take
go
my
home because they
passport.
take your passport.
Yep.
I believe that Ben Carson calls that immigration. Okay.
Immigration. Yeah.
World news. News. I did it. I'd say I even wrote it for you.
Oh, there you go. Good job.
News.
News.
Yeah. All right. So, have you been to a national park?
Yeah.
Several.
If you've been to the National Mall, you've been to a national park.
Well, that's true. But have you been to one where you have to like go through the gate? Like even Great Falls, you got to pay and go in and go through the gate. Okay. Been to like Grand Canyon or maybe Yellowstone.
That's on my bucket
or like,
list.
But you understand what are the big national parks?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna stand on that part of that platform they have at the Grand Canyon where you can see through below.
I did that, and that is actually on a Indian reservation. It is not in the park itself.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's from the Arizona side, which is why I was willing to go and pay to go on that bridge because I am still boycotting Arizona over SB 1070. But it was not in Arizona.
Are you gonna stop boycotting them now that they have a Democratic governor?
No, they have to repeal the law. Not just that it got struck down in court, but they have to wanna.
Well, I mean, they still have a Republican legislature.
It's
It's
close.
going to be very hard to do.
Well, okay. Well, then they can continue to not get any of my money. That's how a boycott works. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Prissy little bitch, isn't he?
A long list. All right, but anyway, Dateline National Parks. Okay, the National Park Service. They have a lot of like warnings on stuff. You go to Great Falls and it's got a warning like don't go in the water. It's the undertow could kill you and whatever. Blah blah blah.
Don't drink the water. There's blood in the water.
Yeah. Don't cuddle the bears. Don't cuddle the bison. Don't try to
don't cuddle the bears or the gay bears either. Because
or the cocaine bears.
Or the cocaine bears.
Or the cocaine hippos.
Right.
The
national...
Remember that from the Pablo Escobar thing?
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Okay. The National Park Service has added tongue contact with the Sonoran Desert toad.
Don't fuck with this toad,
among its various warnings to park visitors. Quote, as we say with most things you come across in a national park,
motherfuckers aren't licking these motherfuckers.
Whether it be yes, they are. Whether it be a banana slug, unfamiliar mushroom.
I mean, how else are you going to trip?
Or quote, large toad with glowing eyes in the dead of night. Please refrain from licking.
Look at that motherfucker in the middle of the night.
That's what I aspire to be.
The toad, also known as
I
the
also aspire to have
River
random
toad.
hippies licking me trying to trip balls.
It's about 7 inches in size and carries a weak, low-pitched ribbit sound, but the creature is far from harmless. They secrete a potent toxin that if you lick it, it can make you sick, but if you lick it just a little bit, it can make you trip balls.
Hallucinogens.
Yes, it's a hallucinogen. Who is using this hallucinogen to feel better?
Well, whites is the only ones who go into the parks, right?
Nope.
Sir,
damn it.
One of those... Sir, that stolen lemur just bit one of your prostitutes right in the face, and she says she can't go to hospital because she's, quote, tripping balls.
Yes. A number of public figures have reported experimenting with the toad's extracted toxins. Boxing legend Mike Tyson has spoken about it, and some researchers have even begun to study its potential therapeutic use. Don't worry, it gets better.
Tyson.
Hunter Biden has written about using
he's about to get called up by his
DMT therapy as a form of addiction treatment.
Talk about some toads.
It's currently Schedule 1. Don't worry. MTG wants to know which toad she should be licking. That's amazing.
We all can agree that Hunter Biden is a really sketchy motherfucker, right?
Yeah, he's
Oh, okay, just making sure about that.
What was Jimmy Carter's brother? Billy?
But no, he makes Jimmy Carter's brother
Billy
look like
Beer?
Billy Bud Beer.
Yeah, he had Billy Beer.
Yeah.
All right, Dateline, Ukraine.
Go blue.
Hey!
Yo,
Yes!
Brian.
I remember this. Yeah, no, I remember that reference. Yeah, no, I
Brian,
remember that.
not a fan.
I remember that.
Hate you.
Moreover, this is this, of course he was getting you with that.
Hate you, Brian. He timed it so
It
well.
was so good.
It's really good. All right, the good folks in Ukraine. This one is entitled "Moonshine Over Lviv" because they're making booze. Apparently, some folks discovered a polyethylene pipeline from Western Ukraine into Eastern Moldova under Transnistria that may or may not be carrying booze. It's probably left over from Soviet times when cheap Russian vodka was pumped through these underground pipelines to nominally Western countries to be sold there for $2 a gallon or whatever. It's a pretty good deal. You should definitely go over there and get some. You want to go to Ukraine?
No.
No. Why not? What are you scared of?
Well, I just remember early on in this conflict, my African brothers and sisters.
What are you so worried about?
Might have had a couple little, they were trying to get out and they were studying.
Well, the Russians conscripted some folks from Zambia. So, there's no good side of that war for you.
At all.
Okay, you got some picks? You want to do some football?
Jesus Christ, we haven't did picks in friggin' weeks.
I know, literally
Brian
the week
wants
since
to
you've
go-
been here.
it's been-
I have it in the script. We can skip it.
Yeah, we're skipping.
All right, we're going to skip it.
We're skipping picks.
That means...
Here's my pick.
That also China.
Oh.
There's protests in China. Did you know about that?
I definitely know about these.
Hear about this? You hear about this?
Look, the Chinese
The Chinese government was like, all right, we hear you. We're going to change it. And also, we're going to kill you for protest.
So look, the Chinese people seem to be pretty easy with most shit and like, yo, make sure we aight. We're not really going to complain a little too much. Just keep things moving how they moving. But when you fuck around with them, then they are going to come out and say, yo, we don't want to be locked. They were welding people's doors, I heard.
But
and
they were creative. They came out with blank paper.
That's the better thing.
I
They're
like that.
hey.
Or they sang the Chinese
They started-
anthem
yeah.
really loud.
And then, they would make
The part where it says stand up for China, they sang really loud.
So again, try to do right by them in your weird communist capitalist society that is, I don't know what to call it.
Well, they're going to
I
kill a
blame
bunch of
Nixon.
them, and then, yes, that's the correct take.
I blame
Good
Nixon,
job.
damn
It's
it.
Nixon.
You wanted to open this shit up, and now look what's happened.
Nixon the panda fucker ruined it all for everybody.
So anyhow, we opened the crate and the damn panda choked on its own bamboo shoot. True story there.
I still
Oh, expletive deleted.
Click with Dick is a hilarious fucking campaign song that cannot compete with Frank Sinatra. I still
Dick!
Can't wait for him to run again.
Yeah, he's coming back with JFK Jr.
Right. Or on Bender's body.
Oh, God.
That did happen.
That did happen.
Nixon's back!
That definitely happened.
Meeting you hippies halfway. All right, you hear the music?
Feed your head!
You hear the music, which means we've come to the end of the show. Thank you to Charlie for whatever it is that you've done tonight.
You're not welcome.
And thanks to Priest for making the show halfway listenable.
Yes, thank you, Priest.
You missed your chance to vote for us. Sorry about that. But if you wanted to, you can't win, and it doesn't matter, and that's as it should be. We shouldn't win. Thanks to
Turn the votes, gay.
That's right. Thanks to our radio partners, Google, Stitcher, WYPR Baltimore, Spreaker, all those guys. Thanks to our home on the interwebs for now, CoPlayMedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Rip Radio. This is a repeat from last week for making us sound as smooth as an ownership transition. Hint, hint. Pay attention. Watch your radio dial.
Right.
All right. Charlie, where can everybody get you on the social medias?
You can find me on Twitter at Charles Bright and all my writings at goldderby.com.
There you go. And Tez, where can they find you?
Somewhere on Mastodon. And fuck all these social medias. Free Britney Griner and fuck Vladimir Putin.
There you go. And you can
Justice for Chris Cillizza, too.
Yeah, and you can find me on the show on Twitter. I'm unsuspended at ChipChatRR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. And you can find us every Thursday night, including next Thursday night at 9:30 here on Rip Radio Network. I'm Chip. That says that's Charlie. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Boom, 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 boom.
Sweeps.
Sweet.
Go blue.